Good afternoon, everybody. Getting ready for people to come in. Look what I have here. Florida water. And everyone can guess who made this. Oh, smells divine. My little clugger's all plugged up, so I get to. Hello, Shelby. How are you, my dear? Just putting on some Florida water to go with my indigo blush. I love a nice scent while pulling cards. How are you doing, my dear? Taking a break from school today, or actually done with class today, or at work? It's good to see you. I tried typing in, so I got this thing that says YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it up a bit. And all I tried typing in was, welcome. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. And YouTube rejected it because they thought it was spam and told me to rewrite it. Anyway, hey girl, what's up, sassy? And I'm good. Just got home from classes having strawberry milk. I just had a cup of coffee before, so I'm ready. Double duty. Brenda T is on. Okay. Well, my dear, if you can't do double duty and you want to hang out only with Brenda T in her chat, feel free to do so, my dear. I go, you're in here all the time. Scared me, Jax. And Cat Goddess is here. Hi, Cat Goddess. How are you? So, yep, maybe one of these days, huh, Jax? I'll get a private message for a reading, and yeah, that would be nice. So, let's see. I got 4 people. So today, I was going through this morning because my mornings are my spiritual time for me. That's when I like to pull cards and journal and things like that. Sometimes I do it at night if my day gets busy. But this morning I sat down to start looking at some of the spreads in my new deck, my Call of the Morrigan deck. And there is one called the 3 Cauldron spread. And I actually was like, ooh. And I pulled cards and I'm like, this is very cool. I think maybe my chatters, my subscribers would like that. She's in the home slide, winding down. I have a tradition where I go, okay, is Gerald on? Is Jackie B on? Because Miss Jackie B, and Miss Jackie B, if you're nasty, she is like doing shows and collaborating. She's on fire. And then I had to make sure that I didn't miss Selena's show today. So for people coming in, if you're not familiar, Selena is going to be doing another episode of her Liminal Space where she interviews people. And she has Ethany Dawn on today. And Ethany is a big in tarot. She's got books and things. So I'm looking forward to making sure I catch her show. And that's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. I'm just going to hang out thinking of doing a jewelry piece for a costume I want to make. Ooh, get creative. I'm doing good. I am actually enjoying the beautiful view of the snow-covered hills, fully snow-covered. It's just absolutely breathtaking here in Ashland. And I'm starting to get my local crows trusting me now. And they're coming closer and closer. Now they're demanding in the mornings when they know that I am up, because they know what Shan looks like through the blinds. So they don't try to get his attention. The minute I get up, I think within maybe 15, 20 minutes, caw, 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 and then you got the squawk, squawk, squawk from the Blue Jays. So, yes, they're starting to get comfortable with me. And I put peanuts now, and the crows are flying right on the tree in front. and looking at me as I talk to them, and they're getting to trust me. So I love it. And Miss Nancy said to me the other day, she goes, I've got a feeling, she goes, I'm picking up that one of them these days is going to land on your hand or on your arm to get a peanut. And that would be, oh my God, that would be so freaking cool. So they are. And sometimes I'll put food out and they'll look at me, go, and then fly up and not touch it. And I'm like, is this a game to you? Because they are very smart. They are very clever, both the ravens and the crows. Oh my God, another show. Well, at least I do shows, Tom. Can you say that? How are you doing today, little bro? Really? Yes. So, yeah, I absolutely love it. Oh, and there was a guy who trained his local crows to steal Meg. I remember that. I remember hearing that. But yeah, they wait till I get up in the morning, and they don't bother Shan. And so they are. Usually I have to go out into the basketball court, pop open a peanut. They tend to like the shelled peanuts and not the canned stuff that we got. The Jays absolutely love those. So I give those to the Jays. And then I would have to set it on the ground, walk all the way to the house, go inside, and then they're like, okay, then they go down. Now it's to the point where they're coming up on the poles in the trees. I put them on top of the mailbox now. And usually by the time I get in the house, close the door, look out my window, they fly right down and they snatch it. Of course. All is fair in love and war. All is fair in tarot and tube or whatever. I always enjoy when you're in chat, Tom. He likes to give me hell, and that's okay. I enjoy. I bet they're, yes, they are. I'll have to try to take a picture for it. Yeah. So the spread is in my Call of the Morrigan Oracle book. And there's 3 cauldrons that are associated with the spread. And I already tried and trusted the spread, so I wanted to share it with everybody. And actually, I'm going to put just this here because now I think we got the being able to star questions and comments again. So I'm just going to put this here, and I will keep an eye out for anybody who would want a reading. And so the first cauldron, as you can see, is the Cauldron of Wisdom. And this is about our mental and spiritual states, tells us where our thoughts are, our mental well-being, and can indicate messages from our higher self. The Cauldron of Motion. Now, this is interesting. They put motion instead of emotion because this is all about the heart, our emotional state, including fears, desires, and what makes us happy. And I'm getting a little raspy there. Sip, sip. And so also tells us where our thoughts are, our mental, no, wait a minute, motion. All right. Heather can't read her handwriting. Fears, desires, and what makes us happy. Indicates what is weighing us down emotionally or what we need to bring into our lives to fulfill our emotional needs. So, all right. Got you started, Cat Goddess. And then the third cauldron is the Cauldron of Warming, connected to our physical well-being. What does our physical body need? Have we been taking care of ourselves? And is there something we've been overlooking? And before I go and start pulling cards for these, I got to put a little disclaimer because we are talking about mental states, emotional states, and physical states of being. These are for entertainment purposes only. As always, seek professional medical assistance as always. I do not diagnose or, I don't diagnose and I don't treat. These are just for entertainment purposes only. Alrighty, that out of the way. Let me see. Yep. And once again, it's from the Call of the Morrigan deck. The spread has been created by Stephanie Woodfield and Karen Storminger. They're both authors of this deck. And from what I understand, this particular spread was inspired by the Cauldron of Posey, which I'm assuming is part of the Namorigna's mythology. So I'm going to have to look that up at some point. But you can ask a couple different questions. And one of the ones they recommended for me and what I did was, what should I be paying more attention to in my life or practices? So I figured I would use that question to address whoever wanted a reading. So, and again, the book, beautiful book and deck is published by Llewellyn. Alrighty. Oh, you don't have to say sorry. Hi, Heather. Can I have a reading, please? So, Michaela, it's nice to see you in chat. Of course, I'm doing specific readings, though, today, as you can see on the ticker. And so the question that goes with this card spread is, what should I be paying more attention to in my life or practices? So if that sounds good to you, let me know. And if you're not sure, just hang out, see how the first reading goes, and then you can let me know. And again, thank you everybody for hitting that like button and doing all the YouTubey things. And as Jax would say, don't forget to smack that sassy. All righty. So Cat Goddess is up first. So these cards are going to be based on what should I be paying more attention to in my life or practices. That sounds good? Okay. And welcome to my chats. It's always nice to see new faces. This is a very friendly and supportive chat. So hopefully you will feel right at home and comfortable. So what should I be paying more attention to in my life or practices? So for the Cauldron of Wisdom, I'm going to have to push my laptop a little more away. There. Okay. And for the Cauldron of Motion. Hi, Richleen. Of course, my dear. I'll start you in just a second. Thanks, Jax. And Richleen, it was nice to briefly meet you yesterday in Sherry's chat. Okay, Cauldron of Motion or Emotion. Ooh. And last, the Cauldron of Warming. All righty. So let's take a look at what we have. So let me open up to the page to get this started. Because I absolutely, this book, I mean, look at this book. It's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. It's horizontal. I have to stop and think. All righty. So, and there we go. There is right here your card. All righty. So I am learning this deck, and because there's so information, there will be some book reading. So, all right, Cat Goddess, for your Cauldron of Wisdom, under what should I be paying more attention to in my life or practices? So again, the Cauldron of Wisdom is about our mental and spiritual states, tells us where our thoughts are, our mental well-being, and can indicate messages from our higher self. So you got the wolf. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that silvery white wolf, and it has blue eyes, which is very cool because a book I'm currently reading that's on the supernatural and fantasy, the woman accidentally shapeshifted her boss into a silvery white wolf with blue eyes. So I thought it was pretty cool. So you got the wolf, my dear. And of course, the wolf is about courage, loyalty, and connections. Here for the card, the alpha female stands tall upon the hill, the pack following her lead as they emerge into the night from the winter wood. She is leading the pack to safer ground during winter. The night is clear and illuminated by the full moon hanging low in the sky. Alrighty. So crow flies above. The wolf's deep blue eyes look straight into you, seeing who you truly are inside. Spirals, spirals of the energy of all living beings are visible on her forehead, and the land itself. So we can see it right here in her fur. I know it's a little hard to see on her forehead, which I think is absolutely beautiful. And of course, right there on the land. This pack has community. This community, this land are connected. Their energies flowing constantly between them, each sustaining each other. In the Irish language, one of the words for wolf is machtir, which is son of the land. Wolves were once prolific in the Irish countryside, and there are several Irish surnames and place names have been derived from the many words for wolf. And then they go on to talk a little bit more about the mythologies and how wolves are connected in the Morrigan mythologies and cycles. So the divinatory meaning. So we're looking at the cauldron of wisdom, mentals and spiritual states, messages from our higher self. And what the wolf is talking about courage, loyalty, and connections. When wolf appears, it is time to think about your own community. So this is where your thoughts are. You're concerned about your community, your family, your pack, basically, including friends, blood family, people that we consider, our family. This also includes your towns, your communities, your cities, places and people that are important to us, and a message from the higher self. So it says here, do you feel the pull of community, a need for connection and social order? Are you aware of the blessings and connections in front of you, or do you push back at what is being offered? Oh, bye, Tom. Talk to you later. So, where have you in life? Have you tried doing things alone instead of asking for aid? So right now so what I'm seeing is when it comes to your mental and spiritual state, where our thoughts are, our well-being is, and messages, feeling like with so much going on right now in the world, in our communities or in my community, in my life, maybe I shouldn't ask for support or to reach out. But what this cauldron of wisdom is sharing, and this is a beautiful message for all of us, is that, we have to do self care. And if we're not taking proper care of ourselves, then we can't be of help to others, especially those we do want to assist, we do want to help. So, this cauldron of wisdom, it's telling me that your thoughts are with the world, especially, I don't know if you're in the US, but with what's going on here, and maybe things going on in your own community, that is causing a concern or feelings of anxiety or stress. And so this is reminding us that when we come together as a community, and when you can reach out to those in your community, cat goddess, and your tribe, your pack, to not be afraid to ask for help, because it looks like you support. And this is about courage, loyalty, and connections. So that is the first card for the first cauldron. And I'm going to just back up really quick because Richline, I did see that you asked. And so I want to make sure. Oh, I have to work for me. Alrighty. But you came back, Richling, with that very cool headband. Let me go up here. And I don't know if y'all can hear that, but my one crow is out there again. I guess they like being fed whenever they feel hungry. So that does sound like a cool book and a bit hilarious. It's very serious, but because the Morrigan is anything but. But I like how they balance her energies in different aspects and her connection to the two a day. And so that's all connected and all involved in this deck. But at some point, I'd like to just have a Morrigan of her own deck at some point. So, Richie, I'm going to be on Jackie. Okay. All righty. Thank you for sharing. And that's going up to the next card. And for your cauldron of motion or emotion, so this is our emotional state um, concerning fears, desires, what makes us happy, and can also indicate what is weighing us down emotionally or what we need to bring into our lives to fulfill our emotional needs. And just right off the bat, I can see what this is. You got the shapeshifter. And so for this, shape shifting is having to change, kind of when you think about a mask, when we go to different, um, whatever situation we find ourselves in, or if we have to go to work, or if we have to go out with friends or family, sometimes we have to shape who we are. We have to tap into that shape shifting where it's like, okay, I have to be this particular person for this situation, this event, work, etc. So let's go take a look at number 6. And alrighty. So the shapeshifter. So this is about transformation, transition, and change. So again, indicates what is weighing us down. So there's a feeling of transformation going on, things that you want to change about yourself, and how we have to kind of, as I say, slip slide in the wave. When it comes to who we want to be compared to as what the public sees, etc. So we're going to look at here. Let's see what jumps out at me. So they describe the card. She's prepared to shift and change as the situation demands. So alert and in harmony with her many different selves, looking toward to what is to come. So this has to do with fears, desires, and what makes us happy. So she's giving us that acknowledgement, that or a little nudge. Let's see, I want to, sorry, got distracted. So as the shapeshifter, the Morrigan reminds us that we must not remain stagnant. Okay, so we need to move through those fears, any sort of desires that we have that we might be holding on to that's keeping us from stagnating, um, and things that we shouldn't, that indicate what's weighing us down. We have to sometimes move out of that comfort zone, be open to change. And even if it's something that may take baby steps to do, this is that encouragement to be able to do that. Um, let's see, shed our old skins, because when it comes to shape shifting, the Morrigan is associated with wolves, eels, sometimes snakes, ravens, crows, and so and also cattle as well as cows. Um, so yeah, it is time to become who you were meant to be, and that process is ongoing, never truly over. When the shapeshifter is strong, it signals a time of changes, shifting circumstances, and transformation. That may be inner transformation too that we're going through. How are we shape shifting within ourselves? How are we changing? Are we changing ways of how we react to things emotionally? Like with your cauldron, when it talks about things in our community and what goes on in the world, how can we shape shift and change ourselves within to be able to emotionally support ourselves through these changing times and to help release whatever is weighing us down emotionally. Um, the change necessary may be a difficult one because rarely, change is easy. And it says the hawthorn thorns. I don't see hawthorn thorns in the card. I mean, if you see the artwork in these cards, they are so intricate, they're so detailed, they're very beautiful. The hawthorn thorns around her represent, okay, the tiny little branches there. Okay, represent that this change may be difficult and painful at times. It may be time to examine and honor the many pieces of yourself that exist within you. I love these cards and I love their messages. So, again, emotionally indicating from your higher self what needs to transform, what needs to change. And although it might be painful or difficult, that's why we have our pack. We have, the wisdom of others and of ourselves to help us through those changes. All righty. So, Cat Goddess, your last cauldron, your third cauldron. Let me turn this over again. I know I have that down there, but I wish there was a larger print, larger font. And you have the cauldron. And so this is the cauldron of warming. It's connected to our physical well-being. What does our physical body need? Have we been taking care of ourselves? And is there something we've been overlooking? And before I go to the page, you got the oath card. And I don't know if this is something that you have already started. It feels like you have taken an oath to yourself. Sometimes we take the oath for others. Like, yeah, I'll take better care of myself. Yeah, I'll do this, because sometimes we feel that we have to change. We have to shape shift into maybe somebody that we may not necessarily want to be, or we know we want to be, but we're heavily influenced or pressured to do that from others. And so when it comes to the oaths, these are oaths that we should, at least with what I'm seeing here with the physical aspect of the spread, that there is an oath of some kind that you have taken or is suggesting that you take to get yourself into a better sense of physicality, how we can better take care of ourselves. And one of those things too is hydrating. Making sure we're drinking plenty of water, eating good food, and getting plenty of sleep and rest. So let's go to her page. It's like you're being called, like from your higher self, to start taking an oath to take better care of yourself, or to take an oath to improve your physicality. And if you think about physicality too, it may be in your instance, it could be connected with a physicality of where you are located, your sense of security, your stability. This could be, the oath of taking, I am, I'm not going to be afraid through this transformation I'm going through, maybe looking for a new place to live, again, with community impact. This could also very well be maybe once we change our environment, or, the environment of, this could be, our homes, our locations where we live. This could possibly be jobs, but when we learn how to trust in that transformation, listen to our higher selves, and listen to what our body needs on all levels, mentally, emotionally, and physically, that's a pretty strong card for an oath, taking an oath of taking care of yourself. So let's move on to number 43. And this is about promises kept and vows being taken. So they talk about, okay, so in the cattle raid of Cooley, Fergus swears he will have revenge for wrongs done to him. He makes this oath on the point of his sword, which he calls the Helidome of Macha, and she's one of the Morrigan. The word for Helidome, mind, can also mean blade or an oath. And so, like Fergus, the Morrigan challenges you to make your oath on the point of her sword. Her sword points at your heart. She challenges you to make your oath and keep the words you speak. The gods, always true to their words, are you. So again, this oath can represent mundane promises you have made to others as well as yourself, or we offer to our spiritual. So if we're looking at this kick-ass from a spiritual perspective, also whatever deity that you may work with, are you keeping oaths and promises that you have made with those that you are devoted to or you're dedicated to? It represents promises kept and the sacredness of the promises made between devotee and deity. We are only as good as our word. Um, a person's reputation was everything in early cultures. If you did not keep your word, everyone would know. And this type of reputation could cost you dearly. So, trust between people and the spirits we have relationships with is based on each party delivering what they have promised. And so this is kind of, confronting you saying, have you kept those promises to those that you have made, especially to yourself? And sometimes there are promises that we made to others because we felt like we had to, or we felt like we were kind of backed in a corner to. So this is a time to examine promises made, kept, maybe broken. It may have to be broken for our higher good, our and for our physical well-being. So it says here, so to end, when oaths appear, think of your obligations and promises to others. Again, keeping true to your word. Um, it says here, depending on the cards oath is drawn with, it can represent the promises of others that may or may not have been kept. So looking at this, I don't see that. To me, this all feels very much like Cat Goddess, that this is an acknowledgement of your connection and your well being. What you feel strongly connected to is your community. Not being afraid to ask for help, especially when you go through the shape shifting where you have to make the changes and you have to do those transformations that may not be easy. And then the oaths that, you keep to yourself to be able to do that, and to those that in your community. So I am just going to stop there. That was a lot of information for a 3 card spread. So yeah, let me know if that resonated with you. And I'm going to put these cards back in, do a quick sip, and then move on. So I enjoyed you with Heather Jacks. Thank you for reading for me. Oh, when she was with me last Friday. Yes. I mean, I would like to be fed too while I'm hungry. Alrighty. So let's see. Did not bring my headpiece on until after, Murphy's Law, as they like to say, jokingly. So that was for Cat Goddess. And next up is, okay, so Michaela, are you still here? Let's see, thank you. And what was the name of the book you were talking about? This one here, this came with the Oracle deck. If this is what if this is what I'm using. This came with the Call of the Morrigan. It's an Oracle deck. Just a lot of wonderful information. This is really for people who are interested in working maybe with the Morrigan or with the Two-a-Day, because they do include the gods that are connected to the Two-a-Day. And yeah, or already work with her. So, alrighty. So, Michaela, are you still here? I need to have my people present while I'm reading for them. So, just give it a few seconds here. Let me actually shuffle the cards. Let's see, the one you were saying where the boss got turned. Oh, so, okay, the name of, it's a book series. I think there's 9. I went and bought almost all of them because I only had 2 left. Okay, Michaela, awesome. Thank you, my dear. They're called the Walker Papers, and it's by the letter C. E. Murphy. And it's a 9-book series so far, and it's basically Joanne Walker becomes, and this is all about fantasy, so she brings in, some of the Celtic gods and stuff into her stories, but it's her being turned into her becoming into shaman, becoming superpower, kind of like with the shamanistic ability. So it's really cool. It can be a little long-winded for me sometimes. I'm just like, oh, girl, just get with the story. You don't have to keep repeating. But they're very well written, and I love her characters. They're awesome. And Joanne is actually half Cherokee and she's half Irish. So it's a very cool book series. Okay, Michaela. So let me pull the page back. So again, what should I be paying more attention to in my life or practices? So for the first card, the Cauldron of Wisdom, which represents mental and spiritual states. Okay. Oh, I got that one this morning. Cauldron of Motion or Emotions, all about the heart and our emotional state. Whoa. Okay, well, that flipped out, Michaela. Beautiful forgiveness. Yes. And for the last one, the Cauldron of Motion, Cauldron of Warming, which is connected to one's physical well-being. Hi, Irene. Miss Iron Fire Horse, your year has just started. Okay, so let's turn the page back. So you got cycles, which is number 45. Oh, I wish there was a way of just kind of putting the book to the forehead and just absorbing everything through osmosis. Okay, so when it comes to paying more attention into my life or practices, so we're looking at the Cauldron of Wisdom, Michaela, and again, tells us where our thoughts are, our mental well-being, and it can indicate a message from our higher self. So your card is cycles, my dear. And it's kind of hard to see, but look at all there's the cows or the cattle that's associated with her. There's beautiful deer. There's her raven. So this is all about cycles. So it feels like automatically before I even look at the book that there is cycles that you are in the process of trying to break, things that can maybe weigh on our mind. Sometimes thought patterns, the way we think about ourselves, the world, others. So the cycles here again, lessons learned, shadow work, and learning from mistakes. So we are looking at being able to sit with our history, look at things that we were successful at, what we felt that we failed at or made mistakes with, and taking from that and turning that into wisdom, moving forward. And so for the divinatory here is that cycles remind us that the past can repeat itself if we let it. It speaks to both natural cycles and the ones we find ourselves locked in again and again. So right there, the mental state of, of how we talk about ourselves, what we allow other people to say, and try not to not letting them having say in our heads. And, this is where, boundaries are very important as well. This card can represent the need to do shadow work so that we may uncover why we keep finding ourselves repeating our past mistakes. So this is really learning how to just having to really buckle down, take the wisdom of what we've learned from our past mistakes and start finding ways of how we can break them, how we can start, setting goals for ourselves, especially with this new moon energy. It was just yesterday. We can start working through and how do I want to start working through and breaking. This is the energy to be able to break them with the eclipse. Wow. So that can also add to that, being able to break those thought patterns or start working on unraveling them and start. So as I'm getting here, as I'm saying that, it's unraveling and or breaking the old patterns and then picking up those crochet hooks, those knitting needles, whatever it is that we love to use, and to imagine resewing in the positive, the confidence, the healing, or the commitment of healing to moving forward. so we can learn from our mistakes and remove ourselves from a harmful cycle. But only if we step back and look at why we keep coming back to the same lessons over and over again. So this is, something good for maybe journaling, sitting in meditation, and seeing what comes to you. And also getting grounded is really important too when we go to do any type of spiritual work as well. Um, and it says here too, sometimes it's hard to break those repeating cycles because we have guilt or regret. And sometimes we feel that we have to keep living in that shame or that guilt, because, we deserve it. This is where, again, where we have to break that, unravel, rebuild, kind of like the tower moment, having to knock that building down, break those, that building, those rocks, that foundation, and start rebuilding from there. So now when we move on to the cauldron of well, it says motion, but I call it emotion right here already. Going right into it, it's the forgiveness card, my dear. So it looks like emotionally there's a lot of forgiveness that needs to be in place for it to be able to start working on breaking these negative patterns, these cycles that we're going through. And that forgiveness, um, only you will know, has to come from, within yourself, for yourself, and sometimes for people. And, over the years, I've been told to forgive certain people, and it's like, I fully can't. It's something that we have to, we're all different, okay? We're not cookie cutter. So for us, and depending on our past, possible past traumas, sometimes forgiveness is very difficult, and it's going to be likely an ongoing process. So when we struggle to maybe forgive others or to forgive ourselves, it's still okay because we can pick ourselves up and put ourselves back onto onto the path for healing. So let me pull up and see what keywords or what else I can offer, um, for this reading. Um, so forgiveness is not easy. Sometimes one party may need to extend the olive branch for there to be peace. Um, you're talking about the mythology here. This is about healing wounds, offering nourishment in some way. So, again, extending that forgiveness to others, even if we can't do it to their face, maybe they may already even be in spirit, but maybe even sitting down and having a mental conversation where you are forgiving them. Um, or writing it down if we need something physical in front of us to release that energy. Um, yep, we may not always still see eye to eye, but but we create a place where we can kind of come together, offer our blessings, offer our, well, you may have hurt me, but these are the lessons learned, and that we can appreciate and thank them for at least what they taught us through that heartache, through that break. And it says too here, when forgiveness appears, it signifies there is a rift in your life somewhere, be it with family, friends, or a loved one. What can you do to begin the process of restoring trust and forgiveness? Or perhaps you are the one who needs forgiving. How can you make amends? It's never too late to heal the old wounds. So that was for your second cauldron. And the last cauldron is the cauldron of warming. Let me just put these here. Set those aside. And it's a very positive card. I love the ending of the further reading here, the cauldron of warming. So this is about connecting to our physical well-being. And is there something where we've been overlooking, connecting with taking care of ourselves? And with whatever this will resonate with you, or how this reads to you, or relates to you, is it Michaela? Michaela, your tribe, my dear. And the tribe are the people in our lives that are there to support us, to love us, even with our faults or our perceived, well, we have faults and our perceived faults, but these are people who um, are there to help us through those rough moments. And while processing these emotions of forgiveness and things in the past, it feels like it's coming together to say at the end, you do have these people in your life. This could be your ancestors and spirits, it could be your spirit guides, it could be people that, again, in the physical plane here, that you have strong relationships with, loving bonds, where they can hold that space. They can hold space for us. They can hold us accountable, but always from a place of love. So you have somewhere to go, my dear, to people to go to be able to help you through with this. And also, and again, I am not a licensed therapist. I'm just speaking from my own personal experiences, lived experiences, that it's okay to seek professional help if needed. A counselor, a therapist, depending on what your higher power is. It could be maybe if there's somebody at a church that you can speak with that can hold that safe space and not be judgmental as well. So it's suggesting of finding someone or some group, no matter friends, family, or in your spiritual community, that can hold space for you and help you through this. And that's what I have for you, Michaela. Thank you for letting me read for you, my dear. Oh, wait a minute. We're supposed to look at the book. Let's see what else really quick here. See anything that might have been like, oh, you should add this. So it's about community connections and family. Celebrations, connecting with others, the divinatory. I love this. Who do you share your fire with? Who do you celebrate with and hold dear? So those people are the ones that can help you through this, along with, if needed, any professional help. And, I'm going to add a little caveat here that, again, the stigma of mental health has got to be broken. It's got to stop being, misjudged and misused like it is a lot in society and in the media. There is nothing wrong to seek help, professional help, for moments when, if we don't feel that we have enough support, or we can handle something on our own. Never be ashamed, anybody, for wanting to reach out and find a counselor, a peer support specialist, anybody that you feel safe, that's professional, that you can talk to. So, and just looking here, it says here, tribe represents family, lifelong connections, the people who love and understand you the best. This is a card. This card signals a time of connection, a time to build, and nourish the bonds of friendship and family. It also asks you to consider who your tribe is. It is time to connect with others in meaningful ways. So that's what I have for you, Michaela. And okay, Shelby, bye bye, my dear. Good to see you. Ooh, I gotta adjust myself here and take a sip. And I see Johanna is here. Hello, Johanna. All righty, let me take that down. Let's see. Again, Irene is here. So, Johanna, what I am doing is I'm doing a specific question, as you saw from that reading, if you're still present. I think you are. It's called the Three Cauldron Spread from my new deck. And the question that we're looking at is, what should I be paying more attention to in my life or practices? And these are the card positions that I'll be pulling for with the spread. So if it looks like you are connecting with that question, so I'm going to go ahead then and get started. And thank you, everybody, again, for taking the time to hit that like button, share, subscribe if you haven't, if you feel drawn to, and a comment after the show, even if it's a few words or a couple emojis. really helps me with the algorithms, like Michaela. I don't know if you were in Sherry's chat yesterday or I just popped into your feed. That's, when people leave comments, that helps. People like Michaela, I'll get tossed into their feed, into random feeds more often. So, and you have a beautiful day, Shelby. Thank you, my dear. All righty. Let's see. Oh no, Jax. Father-in-law is crashing in the hospital after his ablation. I gotta go. Oh my God. Be safe. Safe driving, my dear. We'll all send you. We can all send Jax and her father-in-law loving energy, supportive energy, protective energy, healing energy, whatever we feel safe to give, and keep Jack safe as she's driving to the hospital, and to help her father-in-law and help the whole family in this process. So let me know, girl. Let me know. And let me know if I can do anything. Alrighty, so see if Johanna is still here. So Johanna, are you still here? And then, so if not, then I'll just jump to Rich. Oh, okay. So Johanna, Richling, and that will, I think, be the end of my requested reading. So, okay. So Johanna, and if I'm out of order, my apologies. So for Johanna, what should I be paying more attention to in my life or practices? So let me move my book here. Okay, for the Cauldron of Wisdom. The Cauldron of Emotion. Oh, she popped up again. Okay, I'm just going to put as a reminder. And for your Cauldron of Warming. And I'm telling you, the Morrigan's not for the faint of heart. But you can use the spread for any deck that you use. Alrighty, for the Cauldron of Wisdom, Johanna. Tells us where our thoughts are, our mental well-being. Can indicate, of course, messages from my higher self. So, you got the Incitement card, which I have not read on yet, but it seems that you are getting inspired, to say the least. There is an incitement. It's when, like a battle cry, when we want to get around somebody, and like, just think of a sports team, go to a sports game, all the fans are out there inciting, come on, let's win, giving, the players their energy and everything. So this is some incitement, where our thoughts are wanting to incite a change, inciting. I feel like this is maybe inciting others, because he also got another card, the victory card. And she's actually holding the head up in that. So, all right, let's take a look. Not, this is going to be an interesting reading. Like I said, it's never boring when it comes to the Morrigan. I've been learning. She's full of surprises. Okay, so incitement. Woo. Come on. Trying to go through this book without because the book is so beautiful. The pages are so beautifully done. So this is a call to action, choosing a side, a war cry. So something going on within your life, where you feel like you are mentally and spiritually being called to action. Um, I'm not sure, again, for um, a lot of people in my chat were here from the States. This could very well be that call for battle, call for a war cry, call for change. And we're calling on ourselves mentally to be prepared and to help others. Mental, also thinking of swords, how we can communicate, how we can incite change. Um, Again, starting with ourselves, within our families, within our communities, through whether this could be for government, corporation, businesses, spiritual. This is there's this call. You're being inspired to this call for action, and it's just really really strong. And I'll show her picture again, and they would paint their faces and do to scare the other people on the other team. Well, some of them still do that. If anyone's ever seen them, I think it's the Maori people, and how they do their faces in their tribal design face paint before going into a sports team, and they do their dance and they do their and their I mean, exactly, pretty much the exact same thing. So we I'm seeing that there is a call, like you're just like really being like called to actions, and you're kind of like, how do I go, where do I go? There's just a strong spiritual call to me to be led to do something. So we're going to go to her thing here and take a look, and see what the divinatory, come on, change the page. All right, so um, you are trying to decide what direction to take in a situation. It is time to choose. Otherwise, opportunities will pass you by. This action should be clear and intentional, like I said, with the swords, incitement, thinking, the mental state, making sure that you're clear, you're concise, and you know what your course of action is going to be. Take action, but be clear in what you wish to accomplish. Incitement also indicates motivation. So trying to get motivated. It feels like you're mentally wanting to get out there, do something. I don't know if part of it might battle with, because sometimes what we see, how do I say this? What we feel, think, and experience on a physical level with things that go on in our life, where we know that there needs to be change, there needs to be I hate keeping using the states as an example. Um, but when we see injustice, when we see things that we just can't be quiet about anymore, whether it's in our own families, within the community that we see, and how it's reflected in government and business and everything. So this here is we're trying to find that motivation, because sometimes our spiritual tends to fight with, to me it's like the spiritual fighting the what we consider violent or the physical, and trying to find that median balance, that path, that crossroads that we come to, but not a violence as in hurting anybody, but how can I you know be proactive? How can I help others? How can I help myself? And it says, once you begin down the path, perhaps the hero's light will come upon you as well, and there will be no stopping you until you accomplish what you set out to do. This card indicates time is important. The chance may not present itself again. So, depending on the cards around it, incitement can also indicate that a situation will move quickly, and there may be a lot of emotion behind the task at hand. Yes, because your cauldron of emotion indicates what is, your fears, your desires. You also got the oath card, Johanna. And so this is about taking an oath. So whatever it is that you want to do, that you're incited to do, whatever you feel emboldened to do, passion to do, and of course, we're all talking from a place of nonviolence, peace, but There's many ways of doing battle, magic wise, writing wise, going out for protest, peaceful protests. You'll know for you what works best. So with the oath, it's again taking an oath. You want to take that oath to be able to help others, to keep your word, your move. I already feel that this is something you have decided to do. The incitement is there. You're willing to take an oath to protect, to uphold, to stay true to your word. Um, let your word be your guide. Let your words be your not just your guides, but be who you are. Um, your shield, your sword, and sometimes the sword can be something like a pen. The sword is the pen is mightier than the sword. Whatever ways of, and again with swords, communication. This could be going and speaking, public speaking, demonstrating. Um, there's all these different ideas um, that you have that you want to do, that you want to partake in. And then, of course, the last card, the last position is the Cauldron of Warming, which is about the physical aspects. Is there something being overlooked? I don't think this is something being overlooked, though it might be. So this is being connected to the physical and well-being. So we got the victory. We got the victory card, Johanna, and there is going to be victory involved. But with this card, to me, comes a little bit as okay. You're ready to go. You're called to action. You're taking the oath, and there's going to be a victory. But making sure that the victory is won. That battle. Oh, how do I want to put this? Here, let's go to the book because this has to do with your physical well-being, the victory, the oath taking, the incitement, things that you are doing. You could very well be pounding the streets. You might be out there putting yourself out there, and so to get that victory, to help attain that victory, and on a physical level, we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, that we are getting professional help when needed. We are drinking properly. We are sleeping properly. We're taking care of our bodies properly, making sure that we're getting grounded, especially, if we're also fighting maybe from a spiritual perspective. I know you said spiritually. So here's something that we've been overlooking. So sometimes that victories can sometimes be more, how do I say this? Is there ever really a victory? Because when there's a victory, there's a battle. There's always going to be a side that loses. And so sometimes for us, after something may be won or something is achieved, and we go to celebrate that victory, we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so that victory doesn't deplete us, that doesn't damage us physically, and on all levels, mentally, emotionally, physically. So let's see if there's anything else here. There, let me find her page and see what additional information. Alrighty, and so beautiful because in this book and deck, the card after victory is peace. There's going to be a time for peace. So the victory is about success, achievement, overcoming odds. They talk about her mythology, and it says here, your battle may have been long and bloody, but you have attained victory. Victory brings with it a time of reprieve and celebration. Enjoy your success, celebrate it. Just like the Morrigan covered in the gore of battle, this may have been a hard-won victory. Take the time to enjoy what you've accomplished. Victory can also represent the future success of venture or project. Just remember, the path may not be easy, but victory is attainable. So that was your reading, my dear. I hope that resonated with you, that connected with you. And thank you for letting me read for you, Johanna. Everybody, thank you for letting me read for you. And Richleen, you are next. And good. I'm still at a good time for Selena's show at 3:00. All righty. Thank you, Irene. So let me just go Michaela and then Rich. Oh, excuse me. So let's see. Richling, I believe, is still here. So, man, a lot of energy, a lot of potent stuff in this deck. A lot of potent energy messages, powerful ones. All righty. Richling, can you just say here? Because I know that there may be a couple of other shows going on. It's easier to know that you are here. Ooh. Well, that flew out. I'm going to keep that. Yep, there we go. So I'm just going to put you on. There we go. Okay, so what should I be paying more attention to? Well, your first card already flew out, and it's a repeat card. And again, a lot of mini readings, a lot of personal readings reflect us all on a collective level. So I need a card for the Cauldron of Motion, emotional state. Oh, nice. And your Cauldron of Warming, physical or physicality aspects. Ooh. I always like saying ooh, ah. So the Cauldron of Wisdom. So this is a repeat card. This tells us where our thoughts are, our mental well-being, and can indicate messages from our higher selves. The forgiveness card came up. So mentally, spiritually, there is a sense of forgiveness that needs to be done, whether between yourself and another or for yourself as well. We'll take a look at a couple of these other cards because I haven't pulled them yet. We'll see what their messages are. So with the Cauldron of Wisdom, acknowledging that there is strength and power in the ability to forgive. Sometimes some people don't want that forgiveness, or we feel those people don't deserve that forgiveness. But as best as we can try to give at least some forgiveness, so that, like that old saying, is like hating somebody or putting that energy out there, whether hating or whatever negative emotion, is kind of like drinking the own poison. It doesn't affect the other person, but affects us. But yet again, for some people, they may come to us asking for the forgiveness because they know that they have hurt you, and vice versa. So this is a beautiful offering, a gift of forgiveness that helps us, with our mental and spiritual self, our state of mind. And it just feels like this is really strongly coming from your higher self, things that you know that you need to work on, or certain individuals. And again, a lot of times too, a lot of these readings help us reflect, especially during the new moons and with that solar eclipse energy, really having to work on focusing on us and what we need to break pattern wise. So your next card, let's look at that because it's a beautiful card. It's the Paps of Anu, and the Paps representing the breast. So there are two hills in Ireland called the Paps or Paps of Anu. Anu is considered one of the Morrigan, but she's also kind of considered by some as well as Gaia, the Mother Earth, the Great Mother. And when they saw the two hills, they do look like breasts, so they call them the Paps of Anu. And she's number 19, and this goes with your Cauldron of Motion or Emotion. and indicates what is weighing us down emotionally, or what we need to bring into our lives to fulfill our emotional needs. And I'm just going to show it to you really quick, Richly. I love that spiral. So for me, automatically, um, it's going within, um, going out into nature, tapping into the fertility, the creativity, the healing nature of Mother Earth and all her creatures, nature itself, and that spiral. I don't know if you ever walked a labyrinth, but to be able to walk in to the center and then to be able to walk out, it's like a sense of going in with purpose and focus for healing, and then exiting a little bit lighter, maybe a little more transformed, maybe a little more grounded. So let's take a look. That is a beautiful card, isn't it? So let's find number 19. Nope. Next one. Okay. Connection to land, interconnectedness of all things. So that beautiful emotion, it feels like there's a strong connection of being connected to everything. I mean, look at spiritual birds, the Morrigan, the crows, the ravens, any blackbirds are her birds. Um, so you have that beautiful bird energy there. Birds, incredible messengers, especially from spirit. And they help us also tap into our own, our own magic, our own power. And let's see what it says here. The Paps of Anu, a pair of hills in County Kerry, named for the goddess Anu, rise in the distance. Of the Morrigan's many faces, Anu is most connected to the land and its ability to sustain the people. It is summer, everything is abundant and in full bloom. The trees are lush and green, the woods are teeming with animals. Upon the middle stone, smoke rises from the offering that has been made to the goddess of the land and the sovereignty. Anu can help us connect to the whole of life. So with this cauldron of emotion, what you feel like you're bringing into your life is that sense of wholeness, being interconnected with everything and everybody. But I'm seeing that it's a focus on the land, that the land is a true healer for you. Going out into nature, sitting with the trees, sitting with plants, and the wildlife, and getting grounded and connected to Mother Earth. And it says here, Anu's message to us is to be aware of all that is around us, that all is connected. So she reminds us to stop and listen, to pay attention to the world around us, and to see the interconnectedness of all things. They talk about the spiral going in without. Take time to reflect on the bounty in your life right now. And they recommend, again, going outdoors, connecting with nature, reestablishing your connection with nature. Um, the strength we have when we lean on others and offer our support to others. Where do you gain strength? What connections are you building? So when we move from the cauldron of wisdom, forgiveness again of things that we need to let go of, any guilt, shame, hurts done upon us by others, upon ourselves, and to take that and moving into that beautiful energy of that sacred spiral up into the earth, and recognizing that everything's interconnected, that those who have hurt us and we have hurt maybe them or ourselves, looking at it from the aspect of how you know possibly who hurt them, what brought them to the situation, what happened to us, what brought us to the situation, what is the forgiveness that's needed. So it's like giving the sadness, the forgiveness, and giving it to the earth, and letting her transform that and transform you in the process. Now your last card, you got Manananan Machlir. He is one of the two a day. I try to pronounce the names as properly as possible. Um, and he is basically like the ocean, god of the oceans. Let's see, here we go. Oof. So this is an ancestors card. Love that. So, Mananang Manglir. And look at that, all the waters, you can tell that he's of the ancestors. Look at all the ancestors surrounding him, representing our immortality, rebirth, like with the Paps of Anu, that spiral, it's a representation of rebirth as well. And this is for your last cauldron, which is um, something that might be that we're overlooking. Um, what does our physical body need? Water. I don't know if I'm feeling like this may be an acknowledgement of going towards the water. For me, I love where I'm at now, but I kind of miss the water. For me, healing, cleansing, um, is strongly connected to water. So again, another acknowledgement that water is life, water is healing. What does our physical bodies need? Um, his keywords for this card, though, are ancestors, remembrance, and honoring the wisdom of the past. So that emotions, that intuition, that's our psychic gifts. Going out into nature, finding a space, or if you can't, depending on the weather, creating a space, where you can meditate, put music on, maybe acknowledge your ancestors, um, acknowledging and honoring the wisdom of the past, things that you've been through, things that you have survived, things that you have accomplished. So, Manan Machlir. So they're telling us how to pronounce it here. Manan Machlir. So, the Irish sea god rises from the waves. He stands in a liminal space and guards the threshold between the worlds. Wow. Holding a skull, he stands as a psychopomp, ushering the spirits of the dead from this life into the next. Manan MacLear is the guardian of Mag Mel, the plane of delight, one of many places within the Irish otherworlds. This is the otherworldly plane. The spirits in the mist are at his sides, leave behind this world to dwell in his realm. They talk about, you can see the horses because he's connected with horses. So you can see the magical horses of both sea and land, being able to transverse from one realm to the other. So I feel like maybe you have started this, Richling, or you've been thinking about. I'm seeing that the practice of being able to go within and maybe astral travel or do a shamanic drumming, going into a trance state, visiting ancestors, being able to transverse between the realms to connect with your ancestors. And it says here, this car signals a time to connect with your ancestors. They may be blood or ancestors of spirit. Yes, my space. How have these ancestors shaped you? What wisdom have you gained from them? How can you honor their memory? These are absolutely beautiful cards. And I think the message too coming through is them acknowledging needing to take better care of ourselves. And with that last one, is there something we've been overlooking? Maybe they want or they're feeling a need to be remembered more, to remind you that they are there to call upon, that they like to be remembered, and to connect with them on a spiritual level, through dreams, meditation, trance-like states. What lessons can you learn from them? What wounds from the past might need healing? What wounds from the past might need healing? The forgiveness. Ooh, shiver. So it's looking like this forgiveness maybe for ancestors from the past on the other side that maybe we didn't have good relations with. I know me and my mom, and that's going to be a lifelong process, but it feels like the forgiveness for ancestors, whether we knew them, how far back. Um, and they don't mention it in the book, but this could be karmically too, maybe. Um, so this is maybe a time to connect with your ancestors to help them help you with forgiveness, with healing, and going through that beautiful transformation. Love the cards and the readings for everybody today. Are you moving with the tides of Mananan's waters or struggling against them? So this may be a time where just letting go, going with the flow, and just letting things happen naturally. And they can also represent here journeys to the other worlds and stepping into liminal spaces. So that's a strong card of connecting with our psychic abilities, and being able to travel and communicate with our ancestors, and our loved ones and our spirit guides and teams. So thank you for letting me read for everybody today. This was wonderful. You have been lately, and let's see. I can do that. Thank you so much. Wonderful reading. You're welcome, Richling. Of course, my dear. And I just got a message from Jack, so I think I'm going to go end this show. Thank everybody again. Yep, me too. One step at a time, right? Baby steps. So, alrighty, and again, half hour, Selena, Essence of the Moon, will be interviewing Ethany Dawn. Looking forward to that interview, and I will hopefully see everybody there. And I'm going to jump on the phone and see how my girl's doing with her father-in-law. So if everyone can keep sending, supportive prayers, energy healing, holding space for Jax and her family, that would be wonderful. So already, everybody, thank you again. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next show. Bye for now.